I had an amazing reading month for February, which is insane because it's a very short month. I did do a 24-hour readathon, so that definitely helped me read a lot more because I dedicated a few days to just basically reading and nothing else. And then I also read some pretty darn good books, so that definitely helped as well because I did not want to put them down. So the first book that I read in February was Tender is the Flesh. I do not have the physical copy in my possession anymore because it was so vile and nasty and just gave me the heebie-jeebies. So right when I finished it, it was like either that day or the next day or maybe a couple days later. I definitely kept it till the end of my 24-hour readathon video, but once I finished that, I went straight to a little free library and popped that sucker in there, and I never ever want it in my house ever again because just no. So that book was definitely one that I didn't feel comfortable reading. It was one that I think was really good in the sense of like making you think and kind of packing a punch, especially the ending. I'm not going to spoil anything, but holy wow. Holy wow. It was wild. But then at the same time, that book was absolutely disgusting, and I don't think I would recommend it to anyone unless you're into nasty stuff that should have never been written or conceived. I don't know. That book was a ride. Yeah, I still don't have words for it, honestly. I have never had a physical reaction to a book quite like I did with that one. I don't know if it was because I started talking about Tender is the Flesh, but Minnie just suddenly decided she needed to be held. Sorry. The judgment. Okay, we're done now. We don't need to talk about it anymore. So then after that, I read volumes 6 and 7 of Lore Olympus, and these were both definitely 5 stars. I love this graphic novel series so freaking much. And if you are into like cutesy, colorful graphic novels and also Greek mythology, read this, honestly. So it is a retelling of the Hades and Persephone romance, but there's other characters in it as well, and it dives into also some heavier topics, but in sort of a lighthearted way, I guess. I don't know. I'm definitely not describing these in a way that is giving them justice or doing them justice, but I loved them. 5 stars. I will definitely be rereading this series again, probably from the beginning, because I just love it so freaking much. You want to be held now? Poor Ding. Everybody wants to be in this video. Yeah. Oh my goodness. Okay, you're done. Next, I read Untethered Sky by Fonda Lee. This one I actually borrowed from someone, so I do not have the physical copy with me anymore because I gave it back. But it was all right. It was a very short novella. Not really sure what it's considered. And I feel like I said this in my readathon video where I read this one, but I'm not sure if I wanted it to be longer or shorter. It just felt like, I don't know, it was too much in between. I either needed more plot and more character development or just less. And also the ending was absolutely soul crushing. And if anything to do with animals makes you sad, you are warned. Did I mention I rated it 3 stars? I rated it 3 stars. It was alright. Then I also read Butcher and Blackbird and Leather and Lark by Brynne Weaver, and I just got the third one like a couple weeks ago? I don't know, whenever it came out because I had pre-ordered it, but I didn't get to that one yet. Hopefully I will in like March or April. Probably March because I absolutely loved these books and I ended up rating them 4 stars, which is pretty wild for me because I normally give romance a pretty low rating. I guess I'm not really a romance gal, or nothing just lives up to Pride and Prejudice. I don't know. But anyway, these were really good and they were dark and super spicy, but also somehow really cute. And I don't know how you can have cute and cannibalism in the same book, but this author did it and it somehow worked. So I am also kind of realizing after reading these books that maybe I like dark romance and I never really realized it. So I'm definitely going to try to dip my toes a little bit more into the dark romance genre and see if that's really what I like, or maybe these were just kind of one-offs for me. I don't know. I'm really struggling to find romance that I like, and I feel like I haven't read enough of it to know exactly what subgenres of it that I enjoy and what ones don't really appeal to me yet. I'm slowly trying to consume a little bit more. So if you have any romance recommendations, dark romance or otherwise, please let me know in the comments, because I definitely need some more freaking romance in my life, and I also need good recommendations for that. Next, I listened to the audiobook Walking Disaster by Derek Whibley, who is the lead singer or former lead singer of Sum 41. He's the lead singer, but Sum 41 is kind of disbanded a bit at the moment for a good reason. But anyway, this audiobook was so freaking good, and it was narrated by Derek Whibley himself, who also did some singing throughout the audiobook, which chef's kiss. It was just so well done and definitely heart-wrenching at times. He talked about his struggles with addiction and different mental health issues. Super, super good if you're into punk rock or Sum 41 or anything in that vein. I highly recommend this one, especially the audiobook. It was just so freaking good. Then I listened to another audiobook called Untamed by Glennon Doyle. This one was a memoir, but it was also, I don't know, it felt kind of like self-help. It was like a feminist piece, if that makes sense. And I really enjoyed this one as well. Glennon talked about mental health. She talked about feminism and kind of the misconceptions surrounding it. She talked about coming out and the struggles she faced leaving her marriage and admitting to herself and the people around her that she was in fact in love with a woman. This was such a unique read, and at first I was a little bit hesitant on it. I didn't know if I was gonna like it, especially because it felt like it might be kind of self-help-y, which in the past has not been my favorite thing to read. But it quickly turned around for me, and I ended up absolutely loving it. I don't write memoirs, but I highly recommend this one if anything I just mentioned about it sounds even remotely interested to you. Very, very well written book. Then I listened to John Stamos's memoir, If You Would Have Told Me, and this one was also pretty good. I checked this one out from my library because I really loved Full House as a kid, and I thought that it would be a really fun thing to learn more about Uncle Jesse. And it was for the most part, but I definitely found that he talked more about like his career and stuff rather than his personal life. He still had stuff about his personal life in there, but sometimes he would be talking about stuff that didn't interest me as much. It was still really good, and if you are into Full House or Fuller House, or I guess he's in Scream Queens as well, I'm gonna be honest with you, I have never watched that one, and I need to. I've needed to for years now. But anyway, if you're into anything with him in it, I feel like it would be a fun time. It is a very short audiobook. And then last, but most certainly, definitely, absolutely not least, I reread Pride and Prejudice by Jane Austen for the 1,000,000th time, and it is still 5 stars. It still gives me butterflies anytime Mr. Darcy opens his mouth. Nothing will ever compare to this book. I got nothing else, honestly. It is quite literally a masterpiece. And I could go on about it for hours, so I'm just gonna leave it there. But that is it. That is all that I read in February, and hopefully March is just as great. I kind of feel like I've set the bar high. I always have really good Februarys. I feel like it's kind of because I'm stuck inside a lot because it's negative, like, cold. But anyway, with that, I think I'm going to leave this video here. I hope you have a great rest of your week and happy reading.